the Zen in the upper right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Team Radio with the Bros. I'm Jack. That's Will. Will, how was your week? How are you doing?
Doing okay. I'm actually really excited to talk about, Max and that whole situation with Christian
Oh
and
yeah,
get into the F1 movie because I know you saw it a little late.
yeah. Saw it yesterday. For those who don't know.
Yeah, but most of my week was spent, spending time editing and getting all of this out and this content out for you guys. So I just wanted to go ahead and get a head start on that. Hopefully, we can make this a weekly thing.
Oh, much
So,
appreciated, by the way,
but
Will. And also, much appreciated to you guys who have been showing support, gave the Instagram a follow, subscribed to the channel, maybe viewed the first podcast. We appreciate it. Or the first episode of the podcast, shall I say. But much appreciated to you guys because we definitely, I mean, it's a project at the beginning, so any help at the beginning will be great. And any love, keeps us going. So namaste, as Will is saying. Thank you much. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to it. If you're wondering why we're wearing sunglasses, Sonny Hayes, if you know what I'm saying. It's a sunny day, Sonny Hayes. We're going to get into the F1 movie a little
it's
bit.
actually cloudy here, but still, oh, it's like a haze, like a
Yeah, it's
sunny haze.
hazy. Okay, it's sunny here. So we're back. Yes, 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 yes. Sorry. We're
All right,
we're
how are you doing?
we're morons. I'm doing good, bro. Like I said, I saw the F1 movie yesterday. We'll get into that in a little bit, but overall week was okay. Definitely things we want to improve on. But hey, that's life. Shout out Frank Sinatra. But I'll go ahead and get us started on this F1 movie because since I saw yesterday, initial thoughts. I thought it was really entertaining. I thought the shots were really cool. However, there was definitely moments where I was like, "Is this needed?" But that's just I guess, what the drivers were saying too, with it,
Yeah,
like, I guess just the Hollywood aspect of it. But I liked the movie. I'd watch it again. Despite the age thing. I mean, Brad didn't like. I mean, they did a good job kind of showing what would happen if an older man was racing, or just
yeah,
an older human in general in that
yeah.
kind of car, and then like the crashes, how they'd affect them and things like that. But it was definitely something that felt a little off. But I really liked what's his name, Josh Pierce, JP,
Yeah.
in it or whatever. I know he's in that show Snowfall. I've been recommended a couple times to watch on Hulu. I'll
Yep.
have to give it a shot, but I've heard good things about everything else he's been in. But that was the first time I've seen a movie with him, and he killed it. Thought his mother was hilarious. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah, but then she got mad at Sonny
I mean,
because he didn't
yeah,
know how
but
to tell her anything.
yeah, but like, you know,
Yeah, it is what it is.
JP
He's Mama
wasn't
Bear.
being truthful. Like
Yeah.
that accident was his fault. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But what did you think about the movie, Will?
Well, first off, I'm pissed that they didn't bring the toys to the U.S. for McDonald's. Oh my gosh, I felt like an idiot. I called like three different McDonald's in Fayetteville trying to like see if they had any available. Not a single like I think at one point somebody said, "What is that?"
I
So,
remember
uh,
you calling me about it. Be like, do they even sell them in the U.S.? Like, what if it's just a European or something? It's not even European. It's like South American.
yeah, it's like
It,
Latin American.
yeah, like they're not doing anything with like
Yep.
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. 'Cause I feel like those toys would have absolutely ripped in the United States, but
I know.
I would have
Especially
definitely.
kids that don't know about it. Like,
Bro, I could have got the Scuderia McDonald looking
yeah, I
car.
know.
Like,
I
come on,
know.
man.
I
But
know. Come on, man.
come on, brother. But no, yeah. So you liked the movie?
Yeah, so yeah, my initial thoughts, I really liked all the filmmaking, the cinematography of it all. I actually found out this week that they had used an iPhone camera that had like insane casing around it, just in case it fell off or anything. Um, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, I liked it. For me, mostly it was the plot that kind of threw me off. I heard some people frustrated with the idea that these drivers spend so much time and so great a proportion of their life getting to the point to where they're at and fighting for a seat in F1. Now, yes, over the years it's grown into who has more money, which is another topic we can talk about
Shout
someday.
out Lance Stroll.
So these drivers spend so much of their lives fighting for a chance and a seat there, and then they just acted like a CEO is just going to walk into like a laundromat and ask a old driver and be like, "You're the one that I want.
A weathered
You've been on
man.
my mind this whole time."
Yeah.
Uh, And so, I mean, like, I get that, like, he went and did some other racing for different types of cars and tracks and races, but man, that was the only thing that really like irked me. Also, I think there's all these rumors, or at least I don't know if it's confirmed totally that there's going to be a sequel. But for my opinion, I'm not the biggest fan of sequels in general. I just think if
A
something
movie
blows
like
up like
that,
that,
we don't need it. We don't need a
no.
sequel on
Because
that.
the whole point, I mean, Lewis Hamilton brought up that he wanted to capture a movie that was as close as possible to being in the actual car.
Which they did a good
And
job.
so,
They had some cool
yes, and
shots.
I think they accomplished that, and they accomplished, hey, we want to expand this and make it grow, especially within the American Hollywood arena, and focusing on American audiences. I think I loved how many races were in it, and like there seemed to always have a race that was ongoing. If there was drama, more writing involved, and less racing, it was a very short period of time.
Yeah, I don't
So
know. All right. Let me get into this, bro. Sorry, this is gonna upset me. But let me start off with the pros.
okay,
First off, there were some really cool cameos, like for instance, like Gunter, right, being
yeah,
like the expressions. He didn't even have to say anything. Just the two
yeah.
expressions in that scene was hilarious. I was dying in the movie theater. I don't think anybody
Well,
else
there
was
was
because they didn't know who he was, but I was freaking crying.
that's kind of how I felt in the theater. Like it was pretty packed. It was the night after, and
Hmm.
I could tell there were some F1 fans in there. But as far as knowing racing personnel and like Toto and of course Gunter, like I didn't feel as if as many people were that into it. It seemed like a lot of people were newer to the sport, which I love. And actually, something that I witnessed is next to me there was a guy who had brought a friend, and so when Max Verstappen was shown, he was like, "That's Max. That's the guy that I was telling you about." And
Hmm.
so I just love seeing the encouragement into it, and
Like the
I
young
hope that
fans.
yeah, and I just hope that people can really see that and want to be involved in the sport. And so obviously that's why they created the movie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, pros. The cameos were cool. It was cool seeing, like just many shots of like the drivers, and then even like little shots of like Lando walking off after, a podium, or like the spraying of
Mhm.
the champagne. Hey, they did get one thing correct that McLaren did last week, which was spraying Brad Pitt with the champagne.
There you
Because
go.
Nico
Yeah,
Hulkenberg didn't get any love. I will not forget that,
poor guy.
McLaren boys.
Poor
Sorry
guy.
about it.
Yeah.
But all to say, I loved the cinematography, like what you were saying. There were some really cool shots. I thought even like just the overhead shots were sweet. But there was
Mhm.
definitely some plot holes, or just not even needed, or
Yeah.
unnecessary like moments. Like it was very evident from the beginning that Brad Pitt was going to get into some romantic relationship with the technical
Yeah.
directive. Crazy, I don't know, but it's just very obvious from the first moment that they're in the same shot together that
Yeah.
something's going to happen. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
what is this, Top Gun? You know what I mean? Granted,
And that's like
same
and
director. You know what I mean? But
well, also when they're like out on the balcony and he just opens up to her about his past, and it's
mhm,
like you could have portrayed that a different way. You didn't have to put in a man only talking about his
he's man
past when he
explaining
yes, or
or
vulnerable with a woman
mansplaining,
or something.
dude.
God.
Goodness gracious! But I thought, other than that, I really did like moments of it for sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was absolutely laughable to see them racing
Yeah.
at full speed when it's raining as hard as it was in Brazil last year.
Yeah.
Like, are we? And they're on slicks.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. Oh my
I
goodness.
was sitting here like, brother, they're gonna be struggling to keep it on the track. They're not gonna be racing on slicks when it's pouring. Like, what are we
Yes.
talking about? Like, what are we saying
Or
right now?
or they acted like yes, if you're a newer F1 fan and you don't know, there's this thing called Crashgate that happened in the 2000s. And essentially, a team was caught using one of their drivers to intentionally crash to cause safety cars so that way somebody or your teammate could advance further, or if
Mhm.
they're further back, there was a chance
To
to
guarantee
catching up.
points and such like that. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
correct. What was it? Like the first 4 or 5 races, like that's what he was doing?
Yeah, I was like, okay, this would be definitely penalized very
And
early on.
investigated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Plus, they would have heard on team radio Plan C.
Yeah,
his
now
plans.
it'd be different if like the film was set in the mid 2000s or something. I feel like that would have been a cool plot of making it more of, instead of modern F1, how F1 kind of was.
Mhm.
And I understand they tried to do that with Senna a little bit, and that whole plot of, he
He's like,
got
I
into
raced
trouble
with
with us.
Schumacher and Senna. Like, all right,
I
cool.
still
All right, bro. We get it. Like, you're old.
I still
Like,
can't get past when, like, I'm sorry, when they showed him in the crash and he was like all on the ground.
just
I just,
helpless.
yes, I literally was dying. And I was like,
Looked
what
like a
is that?
child.
Yes, Vecna just threw him on the ground. Sorry, guys.
Where's
I
11?
just finished Stranger Things for like the third time. Okay.
Season 5 in November.
Yes, sir.
But no, yeah, I agree. There was definitely some laughable moments for sure for me. I was like struggling to keep it together when they were racing in the rain. And then
Yeah.
I'm also like, bro, if you're racing in the rain, you're not going to be going that fast to the point where you're going to
Yeah.
launch your car.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say what I'd say you on text, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was played. That was a
Yeah.
plane, brother, cuz that thing
Yeah.
was flying.
I know.
Anyways, but no, yeah, I enjoyed the movie overall. I just thought there was moments that were a little like, come on, guys. I don't know. I thought it was sick too. Of course, like, Max driving by Brad and giving him a wave.
And I think they were trying to incorporate the drama of the sport,
Oh,
but they did
absolutely.
it. They did it in a way that was, I guess, personal to Sonny, rather than the drama within all of the teams.
I'll also say something that was like very apparent from the beginning. Like, I mean, I thought the story was cool, but
Hmm.
I did not. I thought it was cool they showed multiple races, but what was made me annoyed was like how they made a compilation of them in like a 5 minute stretch,
Yeah,
and that was like four of the races already gone, and it's like, come on, bro.
yeah,
Like, we couldn't have got this all like, their own separate things, like a little
yeah.
bit.
Or they added Sonny in there mid-season.
Yeah, we're just gonna take a guy. We're gonna
Like
take
he's
Mart.
so
Hey, we're gonna
desperate.
take Martin Brundle from the
Yeah.
damn commentators box and throw him in a McLaren because Oscar, it's over. Like, I couldn't understand it. Which
Yeah.
Martin Brundle was
Like,
getting down in that McLaren at Coda. Him and Brad
yeah.
Pitt. That was cool. I can't lie to you.
Yeah.
Like, kind of crazy that they allowed him in that, but respect to McLaren.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you have any like things you wish you could have changed? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I also
overall.
think they were trying to like add the whole part where they did have the investigation,
Hmm.
and they made them go on last year's car regulate or whatever their previous custom made car. And so I just thought that was really weird. I don't know.
I hear you.
And
It's like an aspect of it though, because like if you are under
yeah,
investigation, you have to take that. Like if it's a
yeah, but
part that's under review, and they're like, "Hey,
it was
we're a little
so
fishy on it." Difficult or
no.
just like weird.
Yeah, I just feel like it was weird. I don't know.
I mean, I guess it was just another like kind of filler for the plot, right?
Yeah, yeah, they try to make it more dramatized, being like, "Well, shit, now I got to drive a tractor." I don't know. I just feel
Or
like it wasn't needed
I
in my
think it
opinion.
was. I think it really was just there to like, oh my gosh, the guy on the board, he's
Yeah,
against him.
yeah.
Like some big reveal, like
Or
it's
maybe
Den of
maybe
Thieves.
they
Like
could have
what are we on?
or they
Like
could have done that with when they crashed. They could have done an FIA investigation when he intentionally crashed, and then they take away the points. Like
not
that could have been
literally.
something.
I don't know. It was like I said, the movie was overall good.
Mm,
There was just times that like I just thought it was unnecessary. Like the whole relationship with the technical director or
yeah,
directive. Like I
yeah.
thought that was very unnecessary, but definitely I guess needed for some of the audience because I heard some people be like, "Oh my gosh, I like this movie now," and I'm like, "Oh my goodness Christ!" Like, what are we, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, but hey, if it gets people in F1, it gets people in an F1, and that's all that
Yeah.
matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
let's show Brad Pitt's bruised, scarred body.
Swing Show is back. Poor
Yeah.
guy has arthritis because he's
Or the scenes
60
of
years old.
the scenes
Like,
of him doing the neck exercises.
oh my goodness. Actually, bro, I ain't gonna lie. That got me hype. when he
Yeah, I mean
like
it was cool,
initially
obviously.
when he
Yeah,
initially like was just hitting that, I was like, all right, this bro, like my bad.
yeah.
I didn't know you. I didn't
Or
know you
like
had it like
they
that.
acted like he had this massive secret because he had these tennis balls.
I don't know. It, and that's the other thing that right there upset me so much when JP was at the club, bro. If you're at the club the night before a race, like you're not gonna last long at F1. You
No,
know what I mean? Like,
no.
and it's
They're
like
like,
it's
let's get him to go desperately drink himself away
you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting
instead
here
of
like
trying to get better.
it's just so counterintuitive. You know what I mean? Like it's just not the way it's gonna be.
They also made it seem like Sonny worked harder than everybody else, especially making JP look like he doesn't care.
And then like I did like the part where like JP had that dog come out at him a little bit, where he was
Yeah.
talking about I worked so hard to get here. I fought through hell. I climbed mountains, and it's true.
Yeah.
Like F2, F3 is a F4 even is a battle. You know what I mean? Like I saw this little Instagram reel of a kid who's a Formula 4 driver who's gonna have to be moving to Europe to pursue
Oh,
like
I saw that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I think he's American unless I'm wrong. But like it's a real thing. Like it's like you don't know, you're taking a shot on yourself, and you really have to hope that you can gain a name through F3 and F2, and some people through Formula E, if you know what I mean, they get to a point where they're sought after, where they just get a chance in F1 and just don't pan out. Like
Yep.
I know like Lawson has raced in F3 or FE a lot, which is cool. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. What rookie gets into F1 and is like, yes, now we start clubbing?
Yeah.
Like the scene where he's smiling at the cameras after getting in a crash. Like, are we out of our mind?
Yeah.
Like, it's just completely unnecessary. And maybe I'm being like a ass for
No,
looking at
not at
that
all. Not at all.
primarily.
No, dude.
But it was just
There's
kind of
so many.
frustrating being a new F1 fan. So imagine
Yeah.
somebody who's like watched this since like a kid.
I mean, and that's why a lot of the other podcasts have like ripped them and shredded the movie apart because they're dire love for it, which I get. But again, I think the intention was to get new fans and reach places that they didn't think that they could reach.
No, absolutely. I just think it was one of those where it was done all right, pretty good for the actual like sports scenes.
Final rating.
You want to hear like an overall or like a
Yeah,
sports movie
overall.
rating?
How about this? Rate it based upon what you thought it was going to be.
A 7.3. If it's a sports movie rating, I probably bring it up to like a 7.8, 7.9. Remember the Titans is the best sports movie of all time. I still cry. I still cry when I watch that movie. Left side. Okay, sorry. Yeah. What about you? What would you rate it?
I knew that there would be a lot of Hollywood involved in it and Hollywood influence, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10. The plot could have been better.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing was it was flawed in certain times, and then
Mhm.
just unnecessary things. We could have been a ride at like 2 hours, 15 minutes, 2 hours ish, but it went like 240. And that's not a problem. If you're going to be delivering the amount of screen time, you need to be delivering the interest in the plot. Give us something to be on the edge of our seats, which like there was definitely moments you were like that, right? But it was just not the entire movie. To be fair, major production film, they probably did not have as much time on the track as they could or wanted to, even though
Yeah.
some drivers would probably tell you they were on the track way too much, you know what I mean, and wasted their time. But hey, each
Or
their own.
knowing that, hey, we can only throw or film in a very limited time span within real actual races.
Like Monaco would have been sick to see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It would have been so cool to see like a moment where maybe Brad Pitt like crashes or Joshua Pierce like actually
Mhm.
sets a good lap time or something. Like we didn't get to see any qualifying. Like that was my biggest thing too. Was I was like, come on! Like the race weekend is so cool, and it would have been sweet to see like even FP1 to see their times increase from the last race when they had the
Yeah.
upgrade, and then the paddocks hype.
The only
Oh
thing
my
that
gosh!
resembled qualifying was when he shows up and he starts driving the car. Like he first gets to their practice, and JP's like, "Who is this guy?" And then he crashes their damn car. Like,
They're like, well, he beat his target by 5 tenths. And it's like, holy cow, it's half a second.
yeah, but you just bulldozed the car.
Yeah, you just scrapped the car. I think it could have been done better, and
How many
maybe
families could have been fed by the cost of that car? You know what I
oh,
mean?
hundreds, if not thousands, for a year. Like, what are we talking about? Oh gosh, but hey, let's go ahead and transition to Red Bull. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw that this week Max Verstappen's jet and yacht were also spotted at the same place. Toto Wolff's yacht, literally right next to each other, is where the yachts were docked. So,
Yep.
and then there was apparently some photos that came out. I don't know if they're generated or edited,
Mhm.
but apparently it's Toto on Max's going on to Max's jet, and I saw some memes. Of course, we're not gonna have to show those, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But all to say, a lot of smooching. You know what I'm saying is what all is all good.
Yeah.
A lot of face sucking. Anyways, I guess the main question is, do you think that Christian Horner was fired because Max has already reached negotiations with Mercedes to the point where he's going to be driving for them in 2026?
Mhm.
Or do you think Horner was fired in a last-ditch effort to keep Max?
I'm gonna go with first option, plan A. I think that they knew that, okay, well, Max is already talking to other teams. And so I
Hmm.
think that it was, hey, we haven't had a team in a very long time, right? We've had one driver for a good 4 or 5 years, right? So I think it's more so that Christian was the one to get their one driver to start talking and thinking about other teams. And it's like, we needed this guy to stay, and he has interest going other places. And I think that was it, rather than to save Max. Max is very much so the type of person who's very serious about driving. We all know this, and he wants to win championships, and he'll do whatever that takes, even if that means breaking a contract and deciding I'm going to go with a different team for new rule changes.
Hmm.
So
I don't know. I'd agree with you there, but as a Red Bull fan, I'm hopeful that it's just a last-ditch effort to maybe
yeah,
keep Max.
that wouldn't be the worst thing. I think it could be option A, and then also with the hopes of option B, with the hopes of, yeah, Max will come back, and he could be trolling all of us, right? Or maybe he's really pissed about Christian, and so he's like, I'm just gonna talk to somebody else just to get them to realize, hey, I need something different than this.
Everything we've heard about the contract clauses is all
Mm,
speculation. Like there's
yeah,
not like Max's contract is just not posted on the Red Bull website and you can go look
yeah.
at it. Like it's not something that's public record. This is kept between them two and their legal teams. So what I would have to say is all the speculation is based around what Sebastian Vettel's was, which was like him falling outside of the top three in the driver championship, and then also like I think there might have been even a constructors clause that somebody said could potentially be it. Which if
Mm,
that's the case, then Red Bull's chalked. Like
yeah.
it's looking like Max could get out, but he unfortunately for him, if he's trying to go to Mercedes, it's already you know what I mean. He has to kind of go into
Yeah.
position 4 in the rankings of the championship. I'm really hopeful that it is something to where he has to still reach that clause, and maybe there's
Mhm.
even like a deadline that has to be. And I thought it was like the midway point or something like that. Um, but
Yeah.
I mean, Helmut Marko, God bless him, is still saying a lot about the car, saying that we got upgrade packages for the next 4 races.
Yeah.
It's like
You're like, okay, no one is paying attention to
we need McLaren to have a 4 car pileup for like 2 races in a row, and then
that.
Max has to get first, and even then we're still gonna be down by
Yeah.
like 10 points to both.
Yeah.
So it's one of those like you
Hey,
gotta.
you never know. Red Bull,
Hey,
Max could lead.
Mercedes did have
Max could,
problems 2 races
yeah.
a while back, so who knows?
Yeah,
Who
but
knows?
I do think that they're gonna have the upper hand a little bit
Yeah.
next year. There's just something about it that makes more sense to me than Red Bull. But I guess this could go into two different topics. So we could talk about, if Max leaves, what is the driver lineup going to look like for Mercedes?
Hmm.
And then next thing we can hit on is, what would the driver lineup potentially look like for Red Bull?
Well, I think that's easy. I mean, I'll be real. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't
Mhm.
think. I think with George not getting re-signed, it's very evident that like they probably won't keep him. Sucks for him because he's actually had a pretty solid last 2 years. Like it
Yeah.
hasn't been horrible. He's definitely deserving of like a top driver spot, whether that be on Mercedes as they enter a new power unit era. So the cars are going to be changing a little bit, not crazy. but mainly like the active aero and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
I will say that I do believe George is going to be the one that's getting kicked. I don't see why they would not retain Antonelli because Antonelli's
Mhm.
looked really good. You know what I mean? It's almost like if you put Max in the car straight out of F2, you know what I
Yep.
mean, or F3 rather, which they did with Toro Rosso. You know, not the main Red Bull car, but Mercedes doesn't have a sister team or have the privilege of having a sister team. Shout out
Mhm.
VCarb. I'm gonna say it. If we get
Do it.
George Russell, I'm going to not be cheering for George Russell. I'm going to be cheering. I will be cheering for Isaac Hadger or whoever is in that second seat with Christian gone. And if Max leaves, I would rather Yuki and Isaac get a year in the
God.
2026 car rather
Oh
than
no.
to have to watch George Russell in a Red Bull because
Yeah.
that would be hell.
I agree totally with the idea that George would be the one to be kicked. Solely on the fact that I think there's so much hype around George Russell, and I think it's mostly because of his personality. Obviously, he's
Yeah,
very charismatic. I think there's just higher expectations that you have in your mind for him.
like with his experience too.
Yeah, with his experience, and I think he talks so much about how serious he is, obvious, and all the drivers do that. But I think it kind of highlights that he's been here longer. And granted, Antonelli got a better car when he started in F1,
Hmm.
right? Because we have George and a Williams. That doesn't exclude the fact that there's a lot of expectations for George, and I
Hmm.
think that was something that Toto probably made very clear to him because Toto definitely likes Antonelli a lot. And I think even if George was to stay, I think Toto would find some way to still have control over Antonelli to be able to have him in good spirits.
Yeah, I just hope that if it is Max to Mercedes, I just hope George Russell's not in a Red Bull next year because I will not be able to stand that.
Yeah.
And I honestly,
What if okay,
I'm gonna
here's
say it right here. My
okay.
dream, if we were to lose Max, would be to replace him with Charles Leclerc.
I was literally about to go there.
Now,
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
that would take Ferrari to crumble, which they definitely could.
Yeah.
Fred Vasseur, is that how you say his name? If he were to leave or get fired, right, and Christian takes that spot, and maybe I don't know how Leclerc's contract is. I'm gonna be honest with you, so
Hmm.
I might be speaking out of my ass. But if Charles Leclerc left Ferrari,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, it would feed homes to see him at a Red Bull. Like I would happily take that, and then maybe Isaac with him because Hadger's looked amazing. We're not going to be designing the car just for a sharp driving style. It would have to retain, obviously the ability to compete at high speeds, but with Newey gone and everything else, like we have no reason not to just throw the kitchen sink and try to just rebuild this joint. I hope Vettel gets brought
Yeah.
on because I would
That'd be
assume
cool.
Helmut Marko is probably going to retire, and
Yeah.
it'd be cool to see him do like the talent acquisition and be in charge of all that for both teams, or just have some significant role. Goodness gracious, at Red Bull. Shout out Christian Horner. He
Hmm.
started with us from the beginning. Too bad he had to emphasize the horn part of his last name. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just do a little digging. You'll figure it out very quickly. But yeah, it's just unfortunate we had to lose Newey, Wheatley. We had to lose our head strategist. We just lost a lot of parts before firing him. With the founder of Red Bull Racing passing, a lot of power struggle was there.
This is for the new F1 fans, obviously, but explain to everyone kind of Christian Horner's legacy as
Yeah,
far as being, the youngest team principal
yeah, he
ever.
started as the youngest team principal for Red Bull when we were just on the come up and has been with us through the Vettel years, winning four in a row, multiple constructors through that, and then losing Vettel and then garnishing this young talent in Max Verstappen, bringing him along. If you're new and you don't know, Max's first race in a Red Bull, he won, but that was also largely because of a crash. He ended up taking home his first Prix victory in the main car. It's one of those things like Horner had faith in him, and so did Helmet at the time, as well as the whole team. But he also not only built a beautiful car one time to win a championship, not just one but multiple, and then he also built a second in the ground effect era recently, 2021 and on. And we had two dominant seasons of the ground effect in 2022 and 2023. And then 24 was really just us winning a ton at the beginning, and then Max having brilliance at the end continue to win despite the car giving Checo numerous problems. We ended up thinking it was Checo's fault and that he was washed. And then we got Liam Lawson in there. Liam couldn't drive it. Like he looked more comfortable on a moped than he did in that car. And Max was looking at it like it was a tractor. And
Yep.
then we bring in Yuki. You know, things are starting to look better because Yuki's finished in the points, I think, once or twice, which wasn't, that impressive. But being how Liam could not do it, I think it's just one of those things that's cultivated over the last year and a half. And I'm not going to say reached a boiling point, but maybe Max pursuing talks with Mercedes has been the boiling point.
I just thought about this. What if Christian knew he was on the hot seat, and that's why he made that quick decision with Liam versus Yuki?
Which could be. That's been like, and the thing is, there's been reports come out that Yos was in a heated argument with Christian, like
Mm-hmm.
after Silverstone, and there's been tons of those where they've gotten in arguments with
Yeah.
upper management this year. I don't know. It's unfortunate to see Max potentially like seeking out other options, and you can't blame him. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's the best in the world. Sorry, McLaren fans. I'll be the first to say it. If Max was in a McLaren this year, he would not have lost a race. And I don't care what you say. You give him the best car, he's going to be showing you why it's not even close.
Verstappen Norris would be crazy.
Verstappen, Piastri. And, I've had people say that too. They're like, what if Lando were to leave and we got Max? And it's like, bro, I hope not. And I want to also say, they already banned that tire cooling for next year and on.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do anything external. It is only from air. Like, they're not allowing that. I don't know what it is they're doing. A lot of people don't. I would have to assume it's beautiful technology that they've developed over the past couple years. They've had races where they've had problems with their tire cooling, and I think that's because they were experimenting with this technology and they finally just dialed it in. You hope that next year is more competitive, and you hope that Red Bull can build a proper power unit and challenge the likes of those with Mercedes powered cars. That'd be Alpine, McLaren, Mercedes. I'm blanking. Oh, Williams. Yeah,
Williams.
Williams definitely could have a great year. But you hope that Red Bull builds a competitive car with a
Mm-hmm.
competitive engine. Horner was saying it one of his last comments before disaster. He said, if we build a power unit better than Mercedes, that'd be rather embarrassing for Mercedes. Like something along those lines. And
Yeah.
then he got canned the next day, and it's just like,
Oh
oh,
God.
tough, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I hope Red Bull can compete, but we'll see.
I think it'll also be interesting seeing what's going to happen with driving tactics for Red Bull and the rest of this year.
Yeah.
It's probably just going to be Max's show. What Max wants, he gets.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, you're
gonna
not
call. I think
wrong.
Max is just going to call all the shots.
But if it comes out next weekend or tomorrow or even in the next couple months that he's signed a deal with Mercedes, it's going to be
Mhm.
like a farewell tour more than anything. He'll have some moment where he's like, thank you guys for everything. He said times and time again he would like to finish his career out with Red Bull and
Yeah.
not do that. And like we said, it could be something with a clause where he can't get out yet and maybe it just doesn't get met this year. But
Mhm.
or maybe they're talking about because if it happens, they'll have it already ironed out and can sign it that same weekend. But shout out Christian Horner, 20 years of brilliance and dominance in the sport. I mean, the only team that has a better winning percentage on drivers' championships is Mercedes. But yeah, Red Bull's won 8 of like the 20 something that they've been a team, and Mercedes is the only person who's challenged that. But hey, we'll see you in 2026 for these new regs. I might be regret saying that, but if it is a full rebuild, Arvid Lindblad, we are
Yeah.
so excited to see you in an F1 car. Dude, this kid has the talent and he's ready.
Yeah.
Just hope I don't see George Russell in a Red Bull next year. I'll be throwing punches at the air every time he talks back to GP on the radio.
Kind of excited to see how Drive to Survive and Netflix eat this up. You know that they're gonna be dramatizing
Oh, yeah.
the hell out of this.
Oh, 100%, but that's their job, right?
I'm sure they'll do a tribute.
Yeah, because Christian had a crazy career with Red Bull. That's one of the things that Andrew Newey said, or Adrian Newey. Goodness gracious! At Red Bull, it was just very like fun. We're the team that is having EDM festivals at our home race. Like
Yeah.
we're the team that's like being more young centered. It's just tough to see that like the brand changed so much into like a serious ordeal his last couple years, and he said it just became too much of a power grab, and that's why he left. But dude, did you see that video of him staring at the McLaren car this
No.
past race? Oh, dude, he's just dialed. Doesn't take his eyes off of it for like the 20 seconds they showed him on camera. He's just literally staring at the car, looking at every inch of it. I don't know. He's just a genius and he's an artist, and I'm sad we lost him.
Yeah, but he's
And
gonna be comfortable with his little payout.
oh yeah, but I mean, unfortunate, right?
Yeah.
I hate to see it, but hopefully our boy from Racing Bulls does well. He looks like a vibe.
I think it'd be worth it to even give Hajar a try.
Not this year. You might just kill his confidence. I'd rather give him a whole season. Look what it's done to Yuki. Yuki can't decide if he wants Max's preferences or not. It's very hard to drive like Max because you're not Max. It's the proven track record. Same thing happened to Gasly. Same thing happened to Albon. Like they
Hmm.
both have talked about it in interviews. It's like you reach a point where Max is getting faster and faster, and you're not. You're just trying to keep the car within the white lines. It's the curse of Daniel Ricciardo, I guess. Do you have anything else you want to talk about, or put on the Christian Horner situation or Max with Toto?
I think Max is gone. I think he's gonna go to Mercedes. I think it's gonna be him and Antonelli.
Hmm.
And then I think there might be some movement with some other teams, and we'll see some other news come out as far as George. So it could be really interesting, and I'm really excited for more of the drama, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just one of those unfortunate situations, right? Just hope
Hmm.
not. You just hope to not see Max leave. If he does, you wish him the best. And as a Red Bull fan, I'll still be cheering for him. Like if he's
Yeah,
competing for the World Drivers' Championship
absolutely. Because you're a
against
Max fan.
who knows, maybe Carlos Sainz and Albon,
Yeah.
and even the McLaren boys. Let's say they have a good car. I don't know. Maybe George Russell to get a podium. God, I would say I'll definitely still be cheering for Max. Like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Like, and I even like Antonelli, but I'm not going to be switching teams. But
Oh, yeah.
it's like you'd have to watch your favorite player leave your team. It's almost like Von Miller.
Yeah, I definitely don't envy the spot that you and your team are at because I
I mean,
mean,
Ferrari's not much better. Shit.
I don't want to. I don't even want to think about Charlotte. I don't
Charles
even want
Leclerc
to
leaving.
think about Leclerc leaving.
If he does, he'll be all right. Red Bull will be fine. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Sweet. Well, I just want to say big thank you to you guys for sure for
Yeah,
following and subscribing as well as viewing the podcast. We don't really have too much expectations for this, but we do have dreams we would like to accomplish through this. But it's just one of those things like we're gonna keep pushing and keep making it regardless of what happens each week and just see where it takes us, right? Because at the end
yeah,
of the day, it's just us getting to chat about things happening in F1. But we're just really thankful to see the support so far and people following. But for you guys that have not followed on Instagram and on YouTube, it's going to be @Team Radio WTB for With the Bros. We'd appreciate considering just a follow or even just keeping up with it. And if you are subscribed, throw on the notification bells. You know what I'm saying? Throw on those
yeah.
noties.
It's not that big of a deal, but it's just our dreams.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't worry about it. We're just trying to buy Will a PS5 over here. All to say, much love to you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
tuning in. F1 movie was great. Hope Max doesn't leave. Hope you guys tune in next week. It's been the second episode of Team Radio with the bros. We appreciate it. You guys have a great one. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.